Hey, witches.
Hi, hello, and welcome back to a spin-off series, the Crown and Crumble, Moirai and Daphne story from Piper CJ's world,
Yeah.
The Night and Its Moon.
Yeah. And this one does come with trigger warnings.
A lot of trigger warnings.
Yeah, there's a lot of domestic violence and child abuse and physical violence and
Murder.
um yeah, lots of things. Um so this one
Part
does
one.
acts. Yeah. So Act 1, Long Live the Queen. Um I was not ready for this. And like
Yeah, part one, Popper, was like one of those moments where you're like, the fuck do you
yeah.
mean?
Yeah. So I was really confused at first. I noticed in this part, it's the girl and her mother. There are no names. We don't know who they are. Um, but we learn that they can,
Shapeshift
shapeshift. The
and
mother,
cause illusions.
yeah, they can cause illusions. Huh.
Order.
Um, and so they are about to take on some new faces.
Yeah, because
And
these guys are poor,
yeah,
right?
they're super, super poor, living in like a
And
shack.
well, and then like uh
Oh, shit.
there is, you either eat whatever's put in front of you or you starve, kind of like vibe. So it's like
Yeah.
very, very, very poor, not neglectful. I shouldn't say neglectful because it's not like you didn't have shit. Um, and then you basically go ahead and they're just like, okay, here we go. We're gonna do all these things because we want better life because your father ran out on us.
Yep. And so the royal family is coming soon. And so the mother keeps saying, you have to master your gift by the time they get here. And she's like, I can't. And she's like, you have to, because if you don't, we'll be found out. And she's like, that's right. And if we're found out, and she says, we'll be killed. And so basically her mother is grooming her right now to do whatever they're about to do. And we find out that that is um
This woman who is essentially grooming her. I
yeah.
know, it's like words. Grooming her to like master her power through like trauma and beating and all of that. Um they have plans to the royal family.
Yeah, the queen and the princess, they're gonna kill them, and then they're gonna
Take
take
on
on
their
their
fae,
faces.
and
And
they
we
will
learn
forever be
here,
known as Moray,
yeah,
Queen Penelope.
yeah. And we learn there, well, I guess we don't necessarily learn it for sure, but that the mother has to kill in order to take someone's face. She can't just shapeshift at will.
Mm-hmm.
But the daughter can. And then part 2, Tiara. I literally, for that first part, only wrote, oh fuck. That's it. Because,
I know,
wow.
because it's like one of those things like, whoa, 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 whoa.
What the fuck is
What?
happening?
But it's like no wonder she was like so pissy towards Faye, like Murray. No
Yeah.
wonder she was so pissy towards Faye, because like her mom is fully Faye and a fucking cunt.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she fucking is.
But that's not like the reason. I mean, it is the reason ultimately, but that's not the reason why she's like over it, basically. Yeah. But the queen isn't who she says she is. She's a changeling.
She is. So part
Which makes
2,
sense.
Tiara. They're at the castle.
Success.
Yep.
They're queen and the princess.
Yeah.
And Moirai doesn't like lemon things.
But the princess did.
So, basically, I guess they would put lemon on anything that was rotten to, like, make the taste better.
Yeah.
The mom, Penelope, would just said that, oh, the acid cleans it. It's fine. Just eat it. And it, like, made her sick anyways. Didn't matter.
Yep.
So she didn't like it. She just scrumptioned it down so that she wasn't found out, because her mom would beat her if she did.
Yep. And then she is still learning her gift, right? So she can't keep her illusion through the night.
Yeah, her ears.
Yeah.
Too.
So a maid comes in and sees the Fae girl instead of the princess. And, Penelope takes care of that. She just kills her. And then this is so fucked.
Oh, this is so weird. This is like Bates Hotel bullshit.
Yeah.
She, like, you can only lock the door from the inside. You can't unlock it. And there's a door that's attached to her bedroom. To Moirai, or
to
Penelope's.
Her mom's,
yeah. So it's like she's got all the access in the world.
Yeah, and so the queen kills this maid, right? And it's like, put your illusion back on, and she does. And she's like, she tried to kill you. So the maid, they make it like the maid tried to kill the princess, which is obviously not true. And then they do the locked door thing. And her mom cuts off the pointed part of her ears. Cuts them off.
Yeah. No ointment, no nothing either.
Yeah, just no. It says a crimson syrup for pain and the very shears that ended the life of her attendant, slicing into the arched flesh of her fake ears. But, like, that feels so unnecessary because she already has to cast an illusion to look like Moirai, so what? Like, why was it necessary to mutilate her body?
Yeah.
It's like a punishment thing, it feels like, with her mom. And it's like, no wonder Moirai turns into such a monster.
Yeah, she's fucking abused by her fully Fae mom.
Yeah. And then she brings in this trainer, the mom does, to help her work on her gift.
Cassius.
His name is Cassius. He is a Rascot Fae. And she's basically trying to teach her to extend her illusions beyond her person.
Wonder why.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, too. Cassius is so funny because he's like, I train alone. Goodbye.
Yeah, get out.
And that's what he does. He pushes her out and locks the door, basically. Or, well, he doesn't lock the door. Moirai runs to lock the door because she's got some type of safety away from her mom at this point. And it's so sad because Cassius, like, sees the abuse clearly. He's not stupid.
Yeah. He's like, knowing that magic is typically unlocked through trauma, I might be so bold as to venture a guess as to how your gift was discovered. And he's like, are you safe? And she's like laughing.
I like how he's Rascot, so you could tell. He's like, yeah, it's normally discovered through trauma or this, so yeah, that makes sense. Bitch, when?
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy. But
and he's trying to figure out, like, he's like, how does she know that your gift is illusion and not transmutation, or illusion rather than invisibility? And I feel like he's not going to live that long.
No. He's asking too many questions too soon.
Yeah. So, part 3, Crown. I
wonder who's in her bed.
Yeah.
Cassius.
Yep.
Is having a weird affair with
the princess.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. And so they're in there, and she is trying to convince him to stay with her, basically. She's like, I can illusion you to where you're invisible, you can come with me. And he's like, no. And because he's
like, engaged.
Yeah.
But also it's her engagement party.
Yeah. And he's like, no, I'm not coming with you. And she's like, how do you still choose her? And he's like, we've been betrothed for years.
I think it's been 10 years.
Yeah. And she's like, I saved myself for you. I've been with no one. And he's like, I didn't ask you to do that. And he's basically like, this is over. We're done with this. You can't ask me to not have a life because I'm your lover.
Yeah.
And then
her ears perk up.
Yep.
And she hears her mom coming.
Mommy dearest is coming.
Ooh.
And so she illusions Cassius. So it looks like he's not there. And Penelope comes in just on fire. She's like, you whore. Tell me why the servants were gossiping about the moans coming from the bedchambers of a betrothed princess. And like all of these things. And they're like arguing back and forth. Like she's starting to have an attitude with her mom. She's like, spare me, mother. I'll try to fuck more quietly.
Oh yeah, and she's like listing off all these people she never had sex with. The stable boy, the butler, this.
Yeah, she's just being a dickhead.
This person, a guard. And here's the thing. She's like threatening a lot of things. She's threatening a lot of people. And it's like, your daughter has okay, at this point we don't know anything of what Penelope is like truly thinking. We just like know that she's threatening everybody. It's like, okay, well.
And she's like, I'm gonna have to take care of the king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fucked up. But she goes out and starts threatening, like, send all guards to Cassius's home, and we're going to try him for attempted rape.
Yep, for the princess.
Of the princess, and whatever guard was on duty that night, they will be hanged for their whatever idiocy. And then after that, we'll see like what truly happens or whatever. And Moirai's like panicking. Obviously Cassius has heard all of this.
Yeah, he's there.
He's in the fucking room. But she's
Yep.
like going insane now.
Yeah, and so I was like, it's no wonder that she becomes a villain. Moirai becomes a villain. But also,
she's a tyrant.
Yeah. On this last page, Cassius is like, you're not the princess. Have I ever met the princess? And she's like, no. She shakes her head no. And he's like, Penelope, is she truly your mother? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, look at me, Ray. And he's like, wash your face, get dressed, go to your engagement banquet. I'll meet you tonight. And she's like, what? And he's like, tonight, after the banquet. And I'm like, oh, you're never going to see him again. Like,
yeah.
He's not going to live that long.
Y'all should have left right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then we go into part 4, Throne, and we're with Penelope right now, who is fucking psycho.
I wasn't expecting Cassius to ever be a lover of any sort to her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't expect it to be Cassius. Nor I didn't expect... I mean, if she truly was with him only, like, I would never have expected him to be a possible father of Daphne. But I also for sure have a great feeling that he is going to be the reason why Rascot is a victim of her hatred. Now, is it Rascot specifically, or is it Rascot because of the Fae? If it's Fae, it's definitely her mom, straight up.
Yeah.
But he was a quick hi, goodbye kind of character.
Yeah.
This poor guy.
Yep. And Penelope is just insane. Like,
yeah.
Like,
and it's so funny because we hear more about like her childhood, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. And so we also find out that the servants did not overhear her moaning in her bedroom. They were talking about the fact that she had not bled in 1 month's time. So she's pregnant.
She's with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she had killed that servant, so now she could use the face of that serpent.
Face. Yeah.
So she was actually doing it undercover. She was... And that's so fucked up. Can you just imagine, like, your coworker is your boss? Ugh.
Yeah, like undercover boss shit. Yeah.
Yeah. At least with undercover boss, you're just like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah.
But, like, that bitch looked the part.
Yeah, she looked like her and everything. It's wild.
But it's terrifying.
Yeah. And so I at first thought that she was going to kill the princess and she was Moirai now. Like the new Moirai.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what happens.
I feel like if that were the case, though, she wouldn't have had such hatred towards Faye.
Yeah.
Although, she was a little psycho. She could be doing it as an attempt to, like, be regarded as, like, the all-mother kind of thing.
Yeah.
The power-hungry.
Yeah. So she is going to marry the princess to the Duke of Yelligan.
Is it the Duke of Yelligan?
That's what it says.
I, for some reason, thought it was, like, a 10-year-old count.
Nope. It says the Highborn Duke of Yelligan.
Okay, that makes sense.
And she's like, I'm going to live forever, and I'm going to, once the queen dies, I'm going to become like an advisor or something. And she's like, basically, she's going to stay there forever and take care of and Brule. But then at the very end of that part, she has to commit a murder so she can don a male face. She has a fey male's face to don, amber liquid to spritz upon her neck, and a young heart to break. So she's killed Cassius and is taking his face on.
Here's something, too, we didn't realize either, is that she found out her power at a very young age when she was pissed off at her sister and, like, pushed her down the hill and was afraid of retribution by her family. And she was like, the funny thing is that the way she said it was that she said her younger sister, not mysteriously and without any provocation whatsoever, lost her footing as a child. And it's like, okay, that's a lie.
Yeah.
And then she goes, in Penelope's defense, it was her turn to play with the doll. Okay.
Yeah. Psycho from a young age.
And this is like this is like 7, 8 years old. And then she like dons her sister's face, and her father told her sister, like, we're going to be going away because your sister is insane. And then that pissed Penelope off. So Penelope was like, oh, sorry, Dad, I got to kill you too. So then she just kills basically her entire family.
Psycho.
And yep. So she's been this way ever since.
Yeah, fucking psycho. It's just wild. And then that's the end of that part. So then part 5 is Crumble. And she is a fucking bitch. So Moirai runs into her lover's arms, but it's actually her fucking mom. She doesn't know that, but
he basically sits there and says, oh, well, let me see the true face of the person I fell in love with. And then she's obviously like scarred from the years of abuse. So when she shows it to him, he like gasps and runs away basically. And it breaks her. And she's just like, all right, humans never did this to me.
Yep.
And there's her born hatred for all things magical and fae.
This poor thing. And then it's the wedding day. She's married, and that's the end of Act 1.
Yeah. And she's already,
and so Act
ready
2.
to do away with her mom. And that's exactly what she did. She takes the scissors that were near her and then just plunges them into her throat.
Yep.
And it's like, bye, Mom. Fuck you. You're a cunt. I hate you so much.
Mm-hmm. And then she casts the illusion of male footprints, of the red smear of a male hand, and of the stumbling, bloody trail of a man who disappears behind the mirrored passage that her mother thought she'd so cleverly hidden.
And there goes the king and queen.
Yeah, they're dead. And so now, Act 2, unto us a princess is born. Moirai is large and in charge.
Before we get into this, I just want to say there's a part on Penelope's like youth that was glossed over. And I just want to know what demonic shit Piper CJ read to get such a backstory for this bitch.
Yeah.
Because not only did all of that happen, she also kind of fell in love with this, baker?
Yeah.
Somebody who, like, sold shit. And he obviously was married, so, like,
Turned her
Okay.
down.
Yeah, turned her down. He was in love with his wife, obviously. Good for him. So she is like, me? You're gonna destroy me? Okay. She goes and kills his wife and takes her face and like ends up sleeping with him, all of these things, and then she's like upset because he thinks things have changed. And like he's not as like he doesn't want her as much. This is for all of these things, and he was like a halfling. And that's where Moirai was born, was of those two. But the shit thing is that she like completely took on a whole new persona because she liked this guy. And then the guy's like, you're not, because every day she tried to like pretend to be more and more like his wife, but it wasn't succeeding, and he was starting to see like a
Yeah, he
difference. So
was
then
like,
he
what's.
became, yeah, he like fell out of love with his wife, thinking she had changed, but really it was a whole new person, a changeling trying to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do like how she brought in more folklore for this character, because that's like the fear that the Fae will take your name,
Yeah.
and it's like the Fae will take your face kind of thing.
Or
So
your
it's,
kid, yeah.
yeah, for the changeling. Yeah, it's
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah. No,
Not love it. This is a terrible character, but like I love the thought
no, but
process behind
this like Moirai and Daphne's story was a horrible, horrible, traumatic story. But honestly, I think it's maybe the most well written part of the entire universe.
it. Yeah.
I
It's it was like so well thought out.
Yeah.
It had the best backstory
Yep.
for all of these things. And it shows that like people can be born insane, and then it also shows that others can be
made that way, yes. Because Moirai was not evil as a child. She was created to be this way. Or raised to be this way.
Yeah, and she always felt she was always back and forth with her dad because her dad left her with her mom, but saw like this guilty, apprehensive, like I should take her with me sort of thing. And I'm like, now I know if you went with him, we wouldn't have had a lot of these other stories. And we definitely wouldn't have Knox, but still.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yep.
Ugh.
So
Anyway,
then Act
inheritance.
2, yeah, part 6, inheritance. Now we are Daphne. And I was just like, imagine what might have happened if Daphne lived. Like how different everything could have gone. Because Daphne is like fun and free, loving, and like she's just happy.
Yeah. It really frustrates me, okay?
Yeah, like honestly.
I was really upset.
So they're going to this
the tulip fields.
The tulip fields, yeah. And
it's the same thing that Moirai did, or not Moirai. It's the same thing that the real queen and princess were going to see.
Yeah.
When Moirai and Penelope took
them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so they're going to this place, and the people there that they go to stay with every year are like, oh, we sent word, like we're not we're leaving. And she's like, they've had a son basically, and he has powers. And the townsfolk are pissed. They're like, they've brought evil into the world. They're going to flee to the kingdom of night, meaning Rascot. And Daphne's like, shut the fuck up. And she's basically like, go away. They're creating beautiful things. Like, what is wrong with that? They're creating beauty. They're creating plants. What's the problem? And she's like, the raven that was sent to the castle has probably been intercepted because people know about how Moirai feels about the Fae.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, it's fine. Like, can we just stay? And then we will go home tomorrow or something like that, I think.
Yeah. Celeste, the lady in waiting, wants to stay the night to refresh and to do all of that, but there's somebody staying in the house.
The cottage that's intended to house the royal family.
And Celeste's pissed. Celeste is like, that's for the royal family only.
Right. Like, you need to move them. And the lady's like, you see, that's the thing. It is housing royalty.
Bum, bum, bum. I wonder who it is.
And
listen, King Ceres before he was... Oh, it's Ceres. I gotta remember that. It's
Ceres, yeah.
King Ceres, before he was insane, swoon-worthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I need more Daphne and Ceres. Fuck everybody else. I don't give a shit about the All-Mother. I want a full story of Daphne and Ceres where it's a happy ending.
Yeah. I agree.
Fuck everybody else. I don't give a shit about Moirai. I need it to where she leaves Fairhold behind. I need it. Ugh.
Yeah, I agree. But that's not what happened. So, I also asked, so they're talking, Ceres and Daphne are talking, and she's like, why did the king come? Why wouldn't someone else come? And he's like, a king is a shepherd of sorts. And then he says, besides, princess, I'm particularly hard to kill. And I was like, does he have the same gift as Gadriel? Or does he just mean that he's a warrior and he's hard to kill?
I think it's mainly because he's a warrior. I also think it's because he is determined.
Okay. Yeah.
Not like Gadriel determined with his power. It's
okay. Then that is part 6. So then part 7, birthright. Reading this is like them flirting, basically. He comes to her in her dreams and they're flirting and it's sweet, and they meet in person at the temple, because he's like trying to convince her that it's all real, and she's like, if it's real, then come to the temple and you'll meet me there and you'll know that I'm not lying. And she's like, they're flying, and she's like, he says, aren't you afraid? And she says, there are far worse things than falling. And it says, and she was right, he wouldn't let her fall except in love with him. And reading this like happy love story beginning is so bittersweet, knowing how it ends.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And then he asks her to marry him and to come to Gwydir with him. And her mother would never fucking allow that. Never gonna happen. Like, but they are gonna try. They're gonna try to talk to her, which is wild.
Yeah, there's no talking to her.
Yeah, it's... But they're gonna try it. And
They
that is,
honestly should have just, like, acted as if she died.
yeah. Just done. Like, just ran away.
Yeah. Yeah. And then come back later and, like, take over everything.
Yeah. So, part 8, Rain. Daphne's been putting off her wedding planning. She's been putting off the dress making. She's been putting everything off, and Moray's getting a little pissed.
I also okay, at this point, I understand Moirai because Moirai never truly got a lot of this stuff because her mom was always, like, cutthroat with anything that was decided for her, and she is essentially living the wedding or something that she wanted through her daughter, and her daughter obviously doesn't understand the, like,
the backstory, like the reason behind it.
Yeah, so she is, like, pissed off for all of this, and I feel bad on both ends, obviously, because, like, Moirai is completely and utterly destroyed.
Yeah.
Based on everything that she's gone through, and she's trying her hardest to make life for her daughter way better.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing about, like, trauma and, you know, those who have some type of traumatic background, because they strive so hard to not let it happen again that they end up traumatizing in a different way.
Yeah. It just continues the cycle.
Yeah.
But Daphne is really smart with this because she's like, I've spent a lot of time in prayer and I feel the goddess is giving me a message. And Moray's like,
baby.
Moray's like, does the All-Mother have a preference regarding tulle and embroidery? And she's like, no, I feel I'm being told to wait should another suitor, a better suitor, present themselves. And this is when we learn the count is 12. This is the count. She's like, this is the best match in all of Fairhold. That's including the consideration of marrying you to the Count, who owns the land on which the university rests. And she's like, the Count is 12. And Moray's like, nah.
That's where I got confused, because the way it was worded made me think that she got married to somebody who was 12. I was like, damn, a 12-year-old beat the fuck out of her?
Yeah, no. And she's like, I don't want that. And Moray's like, it doesn't matter. You don't like him, but like, I didn't like my husband. And Daphne's like, what? Like, and they're kind of going back and forth. Moray's like, royalty rarely have the chance to like their betrothed, Daphne, but you'll remain in the castle, you'll remain in power. He's a means to an end. And she's like, how are these lands that important? They're like super far south. He's the Duke of the Desert. Like, she's trying to talk her out of this, basically. And then we learn at the very end of the chapter. First, Moirai slaps Daphne because they're fighting. And she dreams with Ceres, dream walks with Ceres, and he's like, she hit you, I'm on my way. And she's like, no, like, don't do that, like, she's like, we're out of time. And he's like, I know, I'll be there in a moment and I won't take no for an answer. I know you don't want a war, but I would rather raise the earth than leave the one I love and obeyed. And she's like, Ceres, it's not just me any longer. I'm pregnant.
Nox.
It's Nox. And
Baby
like,
Nox.
I wish I didn't already know how it ends, because like, in my head, I want to be like, he's gonna come get her, and they're gonna start a war, and they're gonna live happily ever after in Rascot with Nox.
And then we wouldn't have to deal with Mars.
Yeah. She would never get prayed into existence. Ugh. But alas, part 9, Dynasty. She gets married. And she has her baby basically in secret. She has a handmaid and like trusted people around her to help her switch her baby, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that. And Celeste is like, we could run, like trying to help.
Bless Celeste for being like
a ride or die for sure.
Yeah.
And she drops her off with Agnes.
And demands that her name be kept as Nox, and that nobody touch her, and that she's protected. In hopes that one day she is found. Mm-hmm. And then she asks for a boy, a blonde hair, yellow hair is actually what Rigel says, but
yeah.
Her guard, Rigel, is also a ride or die.
Yep. Because also the reason that this happens is because she knows that she can't run because her mother turned Cirrus into a monster without the gift for speech when he'd arrived and obeyed to ask for her hands.
And she doesn't know yet.
She doesn't know that it's an illusion.
And she's gonna try to find the cure for it.
Yeah. But honestly, she dies never knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so sad. So she drops off Nox with the matron, the Gray Matron, and the story comes full circle. And then there is a little thing at the very end that says, the adventure through Garrison isn't over. Read on for a look into Book 5 in the Garrison universe, the villains prequels, A Chill in the Flame. So there's going to be a spinoff.
You know what's really sad, too? That Nox never got to hear the words that her mom ever spoke to her.
Yeah.
Not that, like, she would because she's a newborn baby, but, like, through somebody else, through dreams, through memories, something. She never got to listen to her mom say the words that she needed to hear all along. Because it's like all the shit that Nox has ever been through. She's like, Nox, you deserve so much more than you can be given. You deserve love and safety and kindness. You should never be afraid. You should know how powerful you are. You shouldn't live in fear of terrible men, but be so overcome with your worth that they fall at your feet. Which they did.
Yeah.
In a different way.
That almost kind of makes me, again, wonder back, like, was she a manifester and just didn't know it?
Well, she is, like, what? Fae of some sort?
Yeah,
because
she's
her
a quarter
dad
Fae.
Was Cassius.
Oh, no, she'd be like 3/4 Fae.
Yeah, because her dad was half Fae, and her mom's like 3/4 Fae.
Yeah.
So yeah, she'd be just like her mom. And we never find out about her power because she was never beaten through trauma, through torture, through anything.
Until the very end when she dies and manifests Amaris.
And then all of a sudden Book 5's all about manifestors. Daphne, are you coming back?
Oh, yeah, right? Oh my gosh.
But yeah, she finishes it of, I may not be by your side, but I will cover you with my love every step of your way, and I'm doing the best I can with what I have, and I won't stop until I fix this. You deserve the world. And it's like, all right, I didn't want my heart broken.
Yeah, it's fine. I wanted to sob today.
I was like,
speaking of sobbing, I think we've already mentioned this once, but we realized that we missed one of the little novellas at the beginning after the first book, there was one of Odrin's story, so we're going to be going back and doing that at some point.
Yeah, my book didn't have it.
Mine didn't either, so I had to get it on the Kindle store.
Yeah.
But
I looked at it and I was like, where the fuck is the book?
Yeah.
So
we'll be reading that one eventually.
About you.
We just didn't know.
It's just been a bit. We'll bring it back. But yeah, so that is the absolutely sad origin story of everything that has led up to the night and its moon.
Yeah.
I do like how she kept that at the very, very end.
Yeah, I do too. I like how that came full circle.
Well, and then the fact that the sneak peek of the what is it?
Chill in the Flame, I think.
Chill in the Flame. Talks about the Ouroboros and the dragon that's eating its tail around and never ending.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like the full circle aspect of it all, because that's essentially what started the All Mother.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. But until next time.
Bye.